Welcome back everyone to Game of the Week, a series where each week I'll be taking a niche and unpopular Roblox game and reviewing it. And if I miss a single day of uploading, this series will end. As always, the link for every game I play will be down in the description below, so if you want to go check the games out, all you gotta do is scroll down and click the first link you see in the description. But without any further dilly-dallying, this game's Game of the Week is... Hitman card game. Now, Hitman card game is a strategic card survival game where you have to be the last person standing in order to win. Let me give you a little rundown of how it works. Basically, in every match, you have a group of players that are going to be playing together. This group can range anywhere from 2 to, I believe, 6 players. And these players are all going to be trying to fucking murder each other with cards. And the way that you do that is by making other players draw from the spare deck of cards that's laying on the table. And in that spare deck of cards, there are a few Hitman cards. And if you draw a Hitman card, you're dead and you're out of the round. However, drawing from the shuffled deck of cards on the table isn't always a necessarily bad thing. Because if you draw a card and you happen to not draw a Hitman, you can get something really useful that can help you either block an opponent's turn, or nullify one of their cards, or even attack an opponent, where you place a card down and now the person that you choose has to draw 2 cards, unless they have something to neutralize what you just played. So there is a bit of strategy when it comes to drawing cards in this game. Do you want to draw a card when it's your turn to play, and potentially risk getting a Hitman in exchange for a card that could potentially save your life in the future? Or do you want to use a card to skip your turn but be safe from any hitmans that might come your way? Now, you might have noticed that I said that you have to use a card if you want to skip your turn without picking anything up. And that's because in this game, every time you finish your turn, you are forced to pick up a card from the deck. Now, this can be bypassed in a couple of ways, like if you attack an enemy, for example, your turn gets skipped and now your enemy has to play. But if it's your turn and you have no cards that can help you skip it, then you have to draw. And I think this is a pretty cool feature of the game because it helps prevent matches from dragging on for too long. I mean, obviously if you didn't have to draw a card, then people would just keep placing down cards until they run out and they are literally forced to because they don't have anything to play. So the matches in this game tend to be going by pretty quickly because of that feature. Now, my personal favorite part of this game is the high intensity of it, because it starts off pretty chill, you know, there are like 6 players around the table, and the odds of you dying first, if you have like even the slightest idea of what you're doing, are pretty low. So, you know, people start dropping off slowly, you know, it takes a little while for the first person or two to die. But then after that, shit gets fucking insane. Because after the first 1 or 2 people die in a really big match of like 6 players, things start moving along really slowly. You will go from having like 10 cards by the time that you enter the mid-game to having like 0 cards by the time that like you get into the 1v1 stage of the game. Once you enter the realm of like 3 to 4 players remaining, you will have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, attacking each other, trying to be like the last one to run out of cards if you want to see anyone in the mid to late game die. And then the late game, when there's only 2 people left alive, you will be having like 4 solid cards in your hand. You will have like 2 attack cards, 1 fucking Uno reverse card that lets you skip your turn, and you will even have an angel card that can save you if you draw a Hitman. And you will be playing against a singular person and think you got it all in the bag. And then you and that other person start going back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. You play an attack card, and they just take it sitting down. They draw their 2 cards. and then they play an attack card, and then you stack another attack card on top of that, and then they play an attack card, and then you play the Uno reverse card, and then they will play some absolute shit straight out of an ass that you've never seen in your life before, where they place down a card that fucking locks all your angels, locks all your cards, puts a dick in your mouth, and forces you to draw the Hitman no matter where it is in the deck. Excuse me, what the fuck, man? What kind of tomfoolery do you think this fucking is? But there's low-key nothing you can do, so you just take it lying down and fucking die and finish second place after genuinely having to go Super Saiyan in order to even fucking attempt to beat your opponent. And I think that this stress and uncertainty behind every game is probably the best part about the game. Now, I know that the way that I described that sounds absolutely cancerous, but this whole uncertainty with how a game is gonna go goes both ways. Because sometimes you will have a game that you're 110,000,000% sure that you have in the bag, and you will lose it in the most bullshit way possible. And then there will be other games where you have like fucking 2 cards in your hands, and both of them do absolutely fucking nothing, and you still somehow manage to win the game because your opponent happened to draw a card and get cocky, and they ended up getting a Hitman, and they had nothing to do to defend against it. And I know that that's not something that everyone likes, but for me personally, I like a game like this that's like turn-based and like strategy-based, where you can either win everything or lose everything with like a snap of a finger. But there's just so much stuff about this game, man. So many things that I haven't even mentioned, like all the badges that you can get, some of which are pretty easy, and some of which require you to either get insane misfortune or insane lottery winning fortune. And overall, this game is just pretty fucking insane. I love the gameplay, I love the art style, and I low-key want to go back to playing it, so I'm gonna end this video right here. And I'm gonna tell you guys to go play it as well, because there's a high chance you will like it. But yeah, overall, this game is really, really good, and I truly have no notes. So I'm gonna go back to playing it and finish this video, and see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.